we are, a cup of coffee in the morning, starting out a new week. So, hey, do you ever feel guilty for wanting to be happy? Or for maybe making a choice that makes you happy? Do you wonder if it's important? Really, come on. Let's be serious. We all have responsibilities and a serious life. We can't just all go around being happy all the time, right? Well, as Buddhist monk and psychologist Jack Kornfield once said, cultivating a joyful spirit can actually help not only us, but the people around us. Especially when things are hard. Our gift to the world comes as much through our being and presence, our smile, touch, and sense of possibility in the mystery of human life, as it does in the specifics of what we do. Sounds great, right? Absolutely, but in fact, supported by science. Study after study shows that well-being, whether that's being in a positive mood or just being grateful for a happy life, benefits everyone in your sphere, from your family to your friends to your workplace to your school to just society at large. When we're happy, we're better people. We're better relationship partners. We're more generous. We're more helpful. We're more kind. We reach out in our communities, and we're more productive in our workplace. All things that are useful in a time of crisis, and all things that make the world a better place. Our well-being it's contagious. I like to think of being happiness as we talk about viruses all the time, right? Happiness is infectious. Smiles are catching. People see you. They see you smile. They see you being happy. They're attracted to it, and they want to be around it. And it raises their level of vibration and their happiness. So being happy is not selfish, not something to feel guilty about, right? Researchers Nicholas Christakis and James Fowler found that in social networks, happiness can be contagious to 3 degrees of separation from its initial source, which is you, right? This means that you are happy. This makes your friends happy, and your friend's friend happy. Like, for example, your sister's boss's running buddy, right? So you are spreading 3 degrees of separation of happiness around you. Think of it like energy. Happiness is positive, charged energy. It's going out around you. Whether people like to or not, your energy is affecting them. Why would that be? Turns out our brains are pretty attuned to the emotions around us. Emotions have energy, right? We are, to some degree, we are all in tune. We unconsciously tune in to the average vibrations, to the average happiness going on around us through some complex neural systems, sometimes called mirror neurons. We experience the feelings of others inside ourselves. You've seen this happen. You have a friend that cries, it makes you want to cry. You have a friend that's laughing, you want to laugh, right? It's why we smile, because we can make others smile. And when we laugh, it tickles other people's funny bones. So, as long as you are in contact with people and you are happy, you are making the world a better place. You are exercising a superpower and spreading happiness and bliss and joy. And being happy, it makes us have better bonds, better relationships, which is important, which are, in the end of the day, the secret to happiness, right? The strength of your relationships 100% correlated to your well-being and your positive moods. So, in one experiment, researchers found that making happiness by showing them like happy images before they went to hang out with their significant others made them feel better about their relationship. People express greater positive feelings, tend to have less contention, more discussions, and they stay together longer. So just your being happier makes your spouse happier. Being around someone happier makes someone else happier. And that is like a responsibility, right? That sounds to me like we all have a responsibility. It's not just an indulgence to be happy. It's actually a duty, because, as we know, you're impacting everyone around you. Don't worry what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive, and do that, because the world needs people who have come alive. Howard Thurman. I love that. The world needs for you to get in touch with your passion, create bliss. Send that sparkles out into the universe. Here's a quote that, a little passage I want to read to you word for word. It was so beautiful. I wrote it down. I copied it because I thought it was great. It's from the Tiny Buddha, and it's from an article called "Your Happiness Can Make a Difference in the World." The gift of your happiness. Your happiness is a gift that sends a ripple of joy endlessly out. It is your deposit of aliveness into the collective experience of life. Your life is what you have to offer. When your life is full and vibrant, you give that energy to every other human being. Joy brings out the best in you. It naturally brings out your generosity, your creativity, your genius comes forth, and you have the energy to apply it to every person on the planet. If every person on the planet were assessing their potential in this way, in this logistical problems of food, shelter, and everyone could easily be solved, right? If we were all operating from joy and in our best selves. Caring for others is an inevitable part of enlivening yourself. When you feel alive and happy, you want that for everyone else. And you begin to see how other people's happiness will add to your own. And you begin to approach conflict with the goal of enlivening everyone involved. Even conflict on a global level would be resolved in this way if we were all oriented toward our own happiness. Pretty fantastic stuff. But what it's saying is your happiness cannot wait until the world is better. We need it right now. It's part of the power. It's part of the energy. It's part of the force that's going to actually change the world. Your happiness is a secret weapon, right? What makes you come alive? And how can you put some of that purpose in your life? This is about living authentically, right? The happiest people are those who are living as truly themselves. Authenticity means erasing the gap between what you firmly believe inside and what you reveal to the world outside. Adam Grant. How big is your gap? Because that's where you can start looking when you want to start working on happiness, is how big is the gap between who you want to be, who you are inside, what you're expressing to yourself, and the representative that you showed to the rest of the world. I read a story recently about a cop. He always dreamed of being a cartoonist. But he really enjoyed his police work, and he felt like it was important and he was giving to the community. So he often drew cartoons. On his police reports, he drew them for the kids in the community. When he visited schools, he would make cartoons on the board. He drew caricatures for his fellow cops, and later he became a detective and then finally a police chief. He continued to write. He was a very creative person. He wrote articles for the local newspaper, sometimes including his sketches. Sometimes he'd draw little drawings on even, communications, correspondence. And he said, at one point he said, "I believe the secret to my success is that I never tried to hide or deny my creative side. Rather, I used my artwork and writing to my advantage. This way I was authentic and happy, and everyone, coworkers in the community, responded positively to who I was, the cartoon cop." And this is from an article in Personal Growth magazine. So, I'm going to leave you with, before we go to the quote board, I want to just leave you with one last thought. Or, I say one last thought, but it might grow into a few more. Bonnie Ware did a study, and she was a former palliative caregiver. That means she was an end-of-life caregiver. And she wrote a book called The Top 5 Regrets of Life, Transformed by the Dearly. The Top 5 Regrets of Dying, a Life Transformed by the Dearly Departed. And she says to live an authentic, happy life, it's helpful to think about what really matters. So what are those 5 things people regretted when they were leaving this earth, and they were saying their goodbyes and putting their affairs in order, and they said, these are the 5 things I regret. I wish I'd had the courage to live true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Number 1. Exactly what we talked about, authentic self. You can live it now or regret it later. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Nobody said I wish I worked harder. Wish I'd spent more time at work. Wish I hadn't worked so hard. Wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. How many times do things go by and you think of something you'd like to do or say to express your feelings, but just a nice thought. Don't take action, right? Wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. Wish I'd stayed in touch with friends. Doesn't happen at, staying in touch with friends doesn't happen accidentally, and someone has to take the effort. And sometimes we think, well, why should phone rings both ways? Why should I make the effort? Maybe they should call me sometimes. But then there's no call, right? You make the effort. Reach out to old friends. Stay connected. Wish I had stayed more connected to old friends. I wish I had let myself. This is number 5. I wish I had let myself be happier. Let myself, right? Wish I had allowed myself to be happier. This is a wake-up call. Don't wait till it's so late you're going to regret it. You get to choose happiness right now. You get to let yourself be as happy as you can be right this moment and in every moment. So, little thoughts on why happiness is not just your gift, not just your privilege, but your duty and responsibility. If you are a person, and I assume you are because you're here with me today, talking about happiness. I'm assuming you want to be happier and you want to make the world happier. Pretty exciting that you can do it just by being happier. All right. If you dare to make a difference in the world, you must be different from the world. Elaine Dalton. I love it. We're going to the quote board now. I made these too small. All right, we're going to try it without glasses. Just be yourself. Okay, I can't do it without glasses. We're going to try. Well, let's try again. Just be yourself. Let people see the real, imperfect, flawed, quirky, weird, beautiful, magical person that you are. Never apologize for being yourself. Paulo Coelho. Be yourself. Everybody else is taken. Change the world by be yourself. Amy Poehler, our friend Amy Poehler. Be who you are. Say what you feel. Because those who don't matter, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Bernard Murch. I thought Dr. Seuss said that. Doesn't matter, right? Remember, living joy is giving joy. Your happiness is your superpower. That's all for today. Let's make it a great week. Have a happy day.